decades, the Southeast Asia sub-region has formed the center of much of the world's illicit drug production and trafficking. The notorious Golden Triangle, where Laos, Myanmar and Thailand meet, remains a principal source of the world's opium and its derivative, heroin. Neighboring countries such as Vietnam are also bases for opium production, whilst Cambodia has recently emerged as a major producer and exporter of marijuana. China, meanwhile, is the origin of many of the precursor chemicals indispensable to the manufacture of illicit drugs. All 6 countries act as a transit area for the shipment of illicit drugs to international markets. The growing drug abuse problem and increasing HIV rates are common challenges to the countries in the sub-region. There is a widespread increase in the abuse of heroin, amphetamines and inhalants. Drug abuse remains most prevalent among such disadvantaged groups as ethnic minorities, unemployed youths, street children, prisoners, the homeless, migrant and itinerant workers, and commercial sex workers. Socioeconomic development, including trade liberalization, the opening up of border areas as well as improvements to the communications infrastructure, have not only fostered progress in the region, but also established the infrastructural, economic and social platforms for drug production, trafficking and abuse. Divided by ideology during the Cold War and a distant yet haunting history of mutual conflict over the past few hundred years, Cambodia, China, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand and Vietnam could not have previously imagined joining forces multilaterally to fight against a common ruthless enemy. But that situation has recently improved, and it has been very timely considering the increased syndication of drug-related crimes, the need to increase control over the flow of precursor chemicals, the rapid changes in tactics of producers and traffickers, the emergence of new types of drugs on the market, the increasing drug abuse among sizable new groups of people, the increasing cross-border flow and laundering of proceeds from the illegal drug trade, and the continuing high demand for drugs from countries outside the region. These factors have all underlined the need for governments in the region to join forces in drug control. The UNDCP has indeed played a catalytic role in boosting such cooperation. Initial attempts to address common drug control problems within the sub-region were undertaken jointly by the governments of China, Myanmar, and Thailand, together with the UNDCP, throughout 1990 and 1991. The experience was emphatically positive, with an increase in cross-border investigations and seizures of illicit drugs. More importantly, these collective activities showed that regional cooperation was possible. In 1993, China, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and the UNDCP signed a memorandum of understanding to pursue collaborative efforts to deal with drug problems in the sub-region. They were joined by Cambodia and Vietnam 2 years later.
What is the MOU? It's basically a platform for cooperation. It's a document called Memorandum of Understanding, where the 6 countries, China, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand and Myanmar, has agreed to work together. And this is quite unique in the world, and this looks very promising.
The 6 MOU countries and the UNDCP held their first ministerial meeting in Beijing on 27th May 1995. The meeting approved a sub-regional action plan outlining 11 priority projects for sub-regional cooperation. These included 3 projects for drug demand reduction, 2 for alternative development, supply reduction, and 6 projects related to law enforcement. UNDCP was entrusted to secure funding of about $15 million for implementation of the plan. Under the MOU mechanism, both the governments and the UNDCP are due to discuss the drug control situation in the sub-region and review the progress of the implementation of the action plan periodically. Meetings at the ministerial level are held every 2 years and are supported by annual meetings of senior officials. To demonstrate their ownership of the initiative, the 6 countries each take turn in hosting the annual meetings. At the second MOU ministerial meeting held in Bangkok in 1997, it was decided that the sub-regional action plan should be a rolling plan subject to revision every 2nd year by the ministerial level meetings. This makes the plan contemporary with the ongoing drug situation and national drug control policies in the sub-region. The second revision of the action plan was submitted for endorsement at the May 1999 ministerial meeting in Vientiane. The current action plan contains 13 sub-regional projects with the overall cost of $22 million. The MOU agreement sealed by these 6 countries and the UNDCP is indeed the first in the world to team up uneasy neighbors with different political systems and varying levels of development.
What is the vision for the future? Yes, we think that we will see more common programs in different disciplines. We will see common programs in operations. We will see common programs in intelligence. We will see common programs in cross-border cooperations and joint actions along the borders, which are, of course, key parts of this. We will also see in the future sharing of information and best practices in demand reduction.
The one achievement of which it can boast and which has had an impact on the war against illicit drugs is the fact that the ice has been broken between neighbors who were once divided. All 6 countries now admit that it is winning the war on drugs that has today become their common goal.